Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Happy Monday night, everyone. Sports Hounds are live. A2D Radio, A2D Live, Real Talk Studios, Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Periscope, we're on Twitter. Podcast junkies, download junkies, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify. A2D everywhere. The takeover is real. Sports Hounds with you till 10 o'clock. I'm Rob Brinkman. He's Brad Ryer. Ralphie Delavecchio sitting in for Frank the Tank Vesby. Got a big one. Oh, first of all, the Sports Hounds are always brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. 3 convenient locations, no appointment necessary. Visit specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Not the scan time, the ATS Sports Picks. Find out about their service, atsportspicks.com. Promo code A2D Radio. Brings us our poll question, Monday Night Football preview. Got a big one in the AFC West tonight, Brad. When I made the poll, it was 3.5. Chiefs favored. It's ballooned to 5.5. I like the Chiefs tonight. They lost to the Titans last week. This game's in Mexico City. Not a true home game for the Chargers. I think the Chiefs roll tonight. I think they win by double digits. I think Mahomes, Hill, Watkins, McCoy, Damian Williams. I think their defense just enough. I like the Chiefs. I like the over. I think the Chargers score some points. I think Melvin Gordon's going to get his tonight. I like the Chiefs tonight. I'll lay whatever your line is out there. I like the Chiefs.
Well, you were just saying it was 5.5 now.
Yeah, I have 5.5 according to Sports Insights.
Okay, I would take the 5.5 all day long. I think the Chiefs will end up winning the game, but I think this is going to be a close game. I could see it being like a field goal game. I think it's going to be high scoring. I would agree with you 100% about it being an over game.
I mean, I could see a backdoor cover here.
Yeah, I think the Chargers. I think for the Chargers, this is the batten down the hatches game. Chargers lose this game.
They have to win.
Yeah, Chargers lose this game, season over. Chiefs really, really need the game as well. But I mean, if they lose, certainly their season isn't over. But they'd be a half a game behind the Jets. No, I'm sorry, behind the Raiders, and the Raiders are playing the Jets next week. So you'd have to figure the Raiders have a pretty good chance of winning next week. Where would Kansas City be playing next week? Any idea?
The Chiefs. They don't have a. Do they have a bye?
I'll look real quick.
I think they have. I think they have a bye.
Okay. Well, if they have a bye, then.
Yeah, they have a bye.
Okay, so they could end up.
So that fantasy team I was telling you about.
Okay, because
they're kind of in trouble next week.
So if the Chiefs lose this game, they could very easily be looking at being a full game behind when they come back to play again in 2 weeks. So this is a huge game. I mean, it's got playoff implications and everything. I just think as far as San Diego is concerned, I think this is the shit or get off the pot game. If you
who's the second best? Who's the second best team in the AFC? Ravens are the best team in football. Don't even try and argue with me that they're not.
I'm not arguing with you.
They're unbelievable. They're gonna win. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. There's not even a doubt in my mind. Everyone else is playing for second. So the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. Who's second?
Right now, I'd have to give it to New England until proven otherwise. I think Kansas City is third, but that's a very shaky third right now.
The Patriots yesterday. I mean, I was taken aback by how unexplosive they were on offense.
Well, I think the weather had a lot to do with that too.
It wasn't bad weather. I was at the game.
It wasn't windy?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Nothing negligible.
Oh, okay.
I saw that on social media.
Where I live, it was. If you went outside,
you live on the beach, bro.
It was so windy yesterday. It was unbelievable.
You live at the beach. Of course it's windy.
I could have been blown into the ocean yesterday. That's how windy it was.
But no, there's
weather.
There's weather people. That was a bunch of bullshit.
Okay, so
it dipped a lot as you got into the second half, but no.
Yeah, but no, the cold doesn't matter. It's the wind. It wasn't that windy?
Lot of flow. No.
Okay.
No. Kicking game wasn't affected.
I think Belichick was very, very conservative yesterday. I think that especially once he got the lead, he wasn't going to do anything to risk losing that game. What did Sanu get hurt yesterday?
No, Dorsett got hurt, and that hurt him big.
Yeah, because Sanu seemed to be invisible in the second half. Seemed like they were going almost completely to James White. Yeah, to James White.
They used James White a lot. They had no interest in pushing the envelope in that game.
No, once they got the lead, they decided that their defense will hold.
Now that we're on the
Philadelphia.
Eagles, like I gave the Eagles 0% chance of winning that game going in.
Well, I'll tell you what. For the
2
first,
weeks ago,
for the first 20 minutes of that game, they looked fantastic, and then it stopped.
they have one drive because Doug abandons the run once again. He doesn't use Miles Sanders. He just has it in his head that he needs to have a two-headed monster when Boston Scott's not good at all. Like he doesn't do anything better than Miles Sanders. The Eagles went up 10-0, Brad. Doug Peterson ran the ball 10 times. He passed the ball 34 times.
Yeah, well,
At home with those receivers.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
seemed-
make any sense.
it seemed to me, and I'm not defending Doug Peterson, but it just seemed to me that every time they were trying to run the ball, they were only gaining 2 or 3 yards anyway.
No shit. Like they
that-
can't do anything
You know,
with those receivers, but you can't abandon the run. And then Lane Johnson goes out.
Well, that was to me that was the killer. It seemed like after that happened, it just seemed like they just couldn't move the ball.
If you
after
run the
that.
ball for 3 yards on first down and second down, that's 3rd and 4. You have the whole playbook at your disposal.
I agree.
And you put Dillard at right tackle, and you still have a dominant right side of the line. You have Kelsey, Brooks, Dillard across the front. Miles Sanders touched the ball 4 times. 4 fucking times in the second half.
Not sure why he would do that.
The only way the Eagles were going to win that football game yesterday was if the defense made a big play or your only playmaker, Miles Sanders, big playability guy, busted one. And he's standing next to Doug the whole second half. Makes no sense. I have no idea what this offensive coaching staff does during the week, especially with 2 weeks to prepare.
Hard to understand. That is kind of hard to understand.
I haven't been impressed at all. I haven't been impressed at all with Doug. He did a great job rallying the troops against Green Bay after a bad loss to Detroit. And he did a good job against Buffalo, keeping Carson under center, using Sanders and Howard both at the same time, and winning that game.
Well, losing
that
Howard
has been pretty bad.
Losing Howard though was a significant loss for them.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean he really was doing
Okay,
it.
New England lost their deep threat in the middle of the game. Patrick Chung, their starting safety, didn't play. Their starting left tackle didn't play, and their starting center didn't play.
No, I
want to hear about injuries. Patriots are banged up too.
No,
you got to find a way.
I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm just saying that definitely hurt them. I mean, every team gets injuries. You can't use injuries as an excuse. I agree with you.
And as much as I love Carson, he didn't play great yesterday.
No, he did not.
He's still looking for a signature performance.
Part of the
Since
problem
2017, he hasn't had a signature performance that can silence these Foles people once and for all. And I see them out there. It's ridiculous.
Why doesn't Carson run the ball anymore? Is he afraid of getting hit?
I think he's being coached poorly.
I mean,
I think this coaching staff with Doug Peterson and Mike Groh and whoever else makes decisions on the offensive side of the ball are so out of sync with Carson Wentz.
Carson can listen. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, okay?
Astonishing,
but he can run the ball. He's got good speed. He can run the ball. He can get the ball and he can get the edge and he can get out of bounds and get first downs by himself. I don't understand. It seemed to me that there were several times when he was back there that when he stepped up into the pocket, it looked like he had all kinds of room, could have grabbed a 5-6 yard gain and then slid. And for whatever reason, he wasn't doing it. I mean, that's what that's what your quarterback has to do when your receivers aren't getting open and when they're not doing the job. And it just seemed like he was unwilling to, either he was unwilling or unable or not allowed to do it, and I don't know which one it is. It's one of those three: unwilling, unable, or not allowed. And you know what? Neither one is acceptable at this point.
He's not unwilling. That's not.
Okay, then he's not allowed. And I don't think he's unable. I think he's not allowed, and I think that's a problem. You know what? If you're going to play chicken football with Carson Wentz when one of his big assets,
do you think he's gun shy because of his injury history?
I mean, it could be, but you know what? You can't not go when you have a chance to go, and protect your body.
He does
get out
tuck
of
it
odds.
and run.
Yeah, but not enough, Rob. Not enough. I mean,
No, and like I said, I think that Doug and Groh and Carson are not even on the same book.
I
when
think
it
he
comes
should
to
be.
The,
I think
the
he should
offensive
be,
game plan.
Rob, I think he should be rushing for 30 to 40 yards a game. I'm not saying on the RPO that he should run the ball. Okay. All I'm saying was I saw several times yesterday.
No, and there's no
when he went back to pass.
There's no creativity to the offense.
Yeah.
Not one rollout. There's not one design run. Minimal screens.
When New England was blitzing, okay, there appeared, even on TV, there appeared to be room up the middle that he could run. And he would just step into the pocket. He'd step up a few steps, and then he'd force a pass in.
Where you can run a draw with Miles Sanders instead of having him on the fucking bench the whole second half.
Or throw a couple of screen passes. A couple of quick.
No screen passes yesterday.
Yeah, no.
He had Goddard on the one, and he just didn't. I think it was the one he got strip sacked on. He was just locked into the right side of the field. He was just locked in, and he had Goddard.
Well, that's a problem.
For a little dump. Got a little dump off to Goddard that he could have gotten some yards.
But he's got to start. They've got to change their offensive philosophy a little bit. I mean, it's not working for them right now.
Doug was brutal yesterday. Brutal.
Yeah, and you know what? Against a defense like that, can't be sloppy. And it just seemed like the Eagles' offense yesterday was sloppy. It was a little sloppy in the second half.
A little sloppy?
Well, very sloppy in the second half.
A lot sloppy.
In the second half, very much so. They didn't look crisp. Yeah, Carson just didn't look like he was in sync when he looked like he was starting to
trust his outside play. He doesn't trust his outside weapons.
When he was starting to get in sync, they didn't make the kind of plays that would enable them to be successful. It just seems like Doug is not allowing his players to be in the best possible position to succeed, and that's the problem. And the other problem is
Doug is not a good tactical coach. He's not a good tactical coach. He's a player's coach. He's a leader of men. He has the respect of the locker room. He's got good attributes of a coach. But when it comes to being tactical, Frank Reich and John DeFilippo were the masterminds of that Super Bowl run. DeFilippo was in sync with Carson Wentz. Whatever he told Carson Wentz was buying what he was selling, and he had an unbelievable year. And Frank Reich, I mean, look at him in Indianapolis. I mean, they lost to the Dolphins, which looked bad, but he had down to his third-string quarterback. He gets Brissett back against Nick Foles and the Jaguars.
Runs them off the field.
I mean, Marlon Mack broke his hand during the game. T.Y. Hilton didn't play. The Colts keep winning football games. So the further we get away from Super Bowl 52, the more I think that those two had way more to do with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl than they'll ever be given credit for. Because team quit on Doug last year in New Orleans. They lost 48-7.
I would agree with that.
48-7.
I thought they quit in Minnesota this year too, to be honest with you.
They quit. Remember they quit on Cincinnati, Ralphie, in Doug's rookie year.
Yeah, Carson's rookie year, the 2016 when
they flat quit.
Yeah, they went down to
game.
Cincinnati and got blown out. Yeah,
so
to a piss. At that time, that was
a piss poor.
Yeah,
awful.
Yep.
Bengals team. So
nothing's changed with that.
No, not at all. Look at Joe Burrow. What
I'm wondering about is
what
has happened to Nelson Aguilar, Rob?
Let's put that idiot off to the side for 5 seconds.
Okay.
So you have them quit on Doug 48-7. He gets bailed out by Nick Foles yet again, and then I don't like Jim Schwartz at all. I think his scheme is flawed, but you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Very well
the last 2 seasons, once November hits, his defense has been lights out. And Jalen Mills is about to get himself paid because I don't want that guy going anywhere. The whole defense changed when Jalen Mills came back in the Dallas game. No, it didn't equate to results in the Dallas game, but he did have an interception in the Dallas game, and the secondary has been night and day better since he came back. So Doug needs better coaches around him from a tactical standpoint. And I don't think he should call plays. And I don't think fucking Deuce Staley should handle the goddamn running back rotation anymore. So I'm sick of his shit.
Well, is it his idea to be alternating?
All
the running
indications
backs?
are that Deuce Staley handles the running back rotations.
Okay, but
we talked about it before you got here. Me and Ralph talked about it.
But Doug's the coach. Doug is responsible.
I get it.
It's still up to Doug. Doug could change anything he wants at any time.
But he doesn't because he trusts his coordinators who are inept this season.
That's a problem. Then somebody has to lay down the lumber with him. Then that's something.
But he's the coach.
But Howie's
never going to lay down the lumber against a jock like Doug Peterson.
Well, then that's a problem. You know, the GM sometimes has to be a bit of a bully. You know, if he's going to be
does Howie
effective.
Roseman strike you be a bully?
I don't know. I never sat in a room with him.
He's a nerd. Look at him on TV. Dude's a fucking nerd. He's an accountant.
Okay, yeah. No, I get that, but still got to have.
He's 5'0". He's 100 and nothing. You think he's going to tell 6'4" NFL quarterback Doug Peterson what to do with his coaching staff? That ain't happening. There ain't no way.
He's still his boss, though.
I get that.
He's still his boss, and you know what the bottom line is.
But Howie's not going to make waves because the last time he made waves and got in a power struggle, he lost to Chip Kelly.
Well, and how did that work out? Terribly.
Awful.
Okay, so I mean, I think,
and that's why Howie Roseman's going to be the Eagles' general manager until the day he dies, because Laurie scorned him once and paid for it big time, and Laurie, I don't know if he has the backbone to fire Howie again. He didn't fire Howie, but he demoted him big time. He locked him in a closet for a year and a half.
Yeah,
and then
no, I get that.
Finally gave the reins back.
Yeah, and you know he took the team and he rescued
another
the
thing
team.
about the coaching staff is I question is everyone wants to say Howie can't draft. He's a nerd. He's an accountant. Okay, but A2DRadio.com, the Chucks report outlined there's been, I forget, it was 3 or 4 drafts since Howie took back over for Chip. One was awful. One won you a Super Bowl. One was okay. And the fourth, which was 2019, got you Dillard and Sanders, who I think every Eagles fan can agree that those guys are players.
Yeah, they're good players.
If you get 2 or 3 starters in each draft, you're fine. You had the draft, the Rasul Douglas, Sidney Jones, Derek Barnett draft, where you got 1 starter and absolutely nothing, was a straight
Barnett's pretty good.
Total failure. Yeah, but you can't get nothing out of your second-round pick.
No, you're right about
Sidney
that.
Jones.
Yeah, no, he's
and then you whiffed on all those running backs in the second round. But he fixed it with Sanders. So I have questions on whether that this coaching staff can develop talent adequately. Does Howie need to be better drafting? Yes, but all 30. I got news for you. We could sit here for the next 2 hours and go through all the team's drafts of the last 5 years, and they're all going to have big-time misses. They're all going to have big-time hits in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round.
Nobody's perfect with that.
So every team's flawed. No one bats 100%. So I get it's the popular narrative because he's not a football guy and he's a big nerd to say, Howie sucks. You can't draft. Okay, that's fine. I think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside can play. I think he has a bright future in this league. I think that for him to
I think a lot of
for
Eagle
him to
fans
reach
are-
his full potential, Alshon Jeffrey has to not be on the team because he's the same player. We just talked about it with Tom and Greg before the show.
I saw on Facebook today somebody mentioned, they were comparing Slayton, the guy in the Giants, to Whiteside, and Slayton's a 5th-round pick and he's had a great year. But at the same point, everybody was hurt, so they had to find a go-to guy. So they've been going to Slayton. Whiteside has not been getting the targets Slayton has. So for people to make a comparison,
I'm going to get crushed in the chat for
really
somewhat defending Howie.
Well,
Howie's failed in other ways this year, big time.
yeah, but
I was
it all
very disappointed they didn't make a trade at the trade deadline. But I'm also not giving up a second-round pick for Robbie Anderson when I can just sign him in the offseason. Not doing that. It's way too much.
If the Jets don't keep him.
It seems like he's a little bit of a punk. And
Yeah, but they like him, though.
do they?
Yeah, they do.
They were trying to give him. It seemed like they were trying to give him away at the trade deadline.
No,
for
they
a guy
weren't.
liked.
No. They weren't going to give him away. That's why he's still there. I mean, they wanted like a second-round pick for him. Nobody was going to do that.
And then getting Nelson Aguilar. If I'm the GM of the Eagles, this morning at 9 a.m., I'm getting in my office. I'm calling Mac Hollins, Jordan Matthews, and Nelson Aguilar into my office, and thanks for trying your best. We're going to move on. Outright cut. And I'm bringing up Greg Ward. I'm bringing back Markin Michelle, and I'm calling Antonio Brown. I'm going to get killed for saying call Antonio Brown, but we're in that dire of straits right now that even if he plays 1 week and gets suspended for the rest of the year, that Seattle game, which I'm more confident in the Seattle game than I am. I gave them a 0% chance to beat the Patriots.
I think they're 50-50.
Zero.
50-50.
Less than zero.
I think they're 50-50 at best to beat Seattle.
Negative. My number's 25. I think they have a 25% chance to win the game on Sunday.
That's realistically what I think. I would agree with you.
I think it's going to be
I
tough.
think the best you can look at is maybe 50-50. That Seattle team has been tremendous this year.
Yeah, and Clowney's starting to wake up. He's starting to find his
I'll tell you what.
groove.
How about the ending of that game last week with Seattle?
That
and
was
San
awesome.
Francisco?
What an awesome game.
What a great game. I mean, that. But you see how good San Francisco is, and you realize Seattle is pretty.
How many
darn
points?
Good too.
How many points? And Ralph, you jump in here too. How many points do you think the Eagles are going to have to score on Sunday to beat the Seahawks?
They're going to have to score over 30 points.
You think over 30?
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
I do, because Seattle is going to score against that team. Seattle has all the necessary ingredients to make the Eagles secondary.
My number was at least 24.
Yeah, that's why I said 24. And that 24
At least
range.
24.
I think the Eagles are going to have to
24,
score.
27.
I think the Eagles want to win the game. They need to score 30 points. Seattle's defense is a little suspect. Okay,
But they get after. They get after the.
But
they
that
have
front,
been getting
that
after
front
the
four,
quarterback.
though, Brad, is nice.
Oh,
the
it's
front four they have is
yeah,
nice.
but-
on Seattle.
Yeah.
But
And
the
they have
rest
Bobby
of the,
Wagner.
But the rest of the defense is pretty suspect, and you can score on them.
But
You're not talking.
But,
It's not the Legion of Boom.
But-
okay.
my follow-up point is: do you think the Eagles are capable of scoring 24, 27, 30 points
Yeah, I do.
next Sunday
When
against
they're-
Seattle?
when they're on the top of their game, they are. But
Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah. But the problem, the
Boy,
thing I'm worried about.
I don't know what.
The thing I'm worried
I don't
about.
see how that happens at all.
What about what is going on with Lane Johnson? I know he had a
Well,
concussion.
he got a
yesterday.
concussion, and hopefully he can play.
See, that's going to be a
I get it.
major-
Lane Johnson's probably the best right tackle in all of football. But
Agreed.
you traded up for Andre Dillard. The future's
Yeah.
now for this kid. So you have a guy you can plug in.
Is Jordan Howard going to play next week?
Yeah, I think he will.
I'm concerned about Jordan Howard because how do you come off a bye week and all of a sudden you're questionable and then inactive?
Something happened during the bye week.
Who they play before the bye?
Oh my gosh, who did we play before the bye?
The Bears, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he played well, but
He
Dummy
played the whole game.
played the whole game.
Yeah.
He ran the ball down their throat, but
Yeah.
Dummy Doug has to do this rotation.
Yeah.
And when I say Dummy Doug, that's representative of the whole offensive coaching staff. I think they all suck. And it pains me to say that because I like Doug. He's like a good guy, and I like him as a leader. But I don't like him as an X-No coach. I thought the game plan was horrible yesterday. Horrible.
Well, the fact that the Patriots
And
let the Eagles stay in the game, that was a winnable game for the Eagles. That probably is the most.
that's what
if
sticks
you're-
in my craw the
if you're-
most.
If you're an Eagle fan, that would be the thing that would. If I was an Eagle fan, that's what would bother me is the fact that, I wasn't expecting to beat the Patriots, but damn, we should have won that game.
But I thought
And another thing, like you just said, Brad, look how many interceptions we dropped yesterday.
5, 6.
Dropped 5
Yeah,
interceptions yesterday.
I know you did. And
The pick by Ronnie McLeod in the end zone, you gotta catch that, man.
But Carson's
you gotta
also,
catch that.
Carson's also got to be smarter and not get the ball knocked down all the time at the line. How many times did New England knock the damn ball down at the line of scrimmage too?
Yeah,
lot.
but can you?
Yeah, it seemed like in every series they were knocking the ball
Yeah.
down. You know,
They're swarming. The defense is really good.
Yeah.
yeah, but you can't let that happen at the line of scrimmage.
You have a choice. Like, what? I don't understand what do you do?
You got to step into the
They're-
pocket. You got to make sure you have a throwing lane. You can't just sometimes throwing blindly is not what you need to do. You have to make sure you have a throwing lane. It just seemed to me, and maybe I'm exaggerating, but it seemed to me they had a lot of passes batted down at the line.
They
of scrimmage.
did. You're
Yeah.
right.
You know, and that to me that annoyed it, as a fan. I know when that
Well,
happens
what do
with
you-
the
what do you-
Giants, it just pisses me
but-
off to no end.
The front three don't have to play the run, Brad. They can just stay there and jump up and down
Yeah.
and get in the lanes. Because Doug continually disbands
That's-
the run
and
game.
I
But that's-
totally agree
That's
on
a
that.
problem. That's a problem. He's
It's a
gotta
huge
stop doing that.
problem.
That's got to stop.
It doesn't matter. Jordan Howard was cooking against the Bears.
Jordan Howard
Cooking.
was really played.
He's been the best player. He's been the best player on offense the whole season.
Yeah, Jordan
he
Howard's
has.
played extremely well this year.
He's got 7 yards of carry against the Bears, and then he sits out the whole second quarter. So Miles Sanders can dance around the hole and lose yards. Makes no sense.
Well, I mean, I get it that you don't want to give him too many carries because you don't want to wear him out in a season, but
And Miles Sanders is a Doug pick. That's a Doug Deuce pick. They probably were in Howie's office every day leading up to the draft saying, we need this guy. We need this guy from Penn State. We want Miles Sanders. I think that was the only workout that Doug and Deuce
Really
both
cared
went,
about.
Both went. No, that's the one they both they were both present at
Yeah.
Miles Sanders's.
you're probably right.
They came in
Yeah.
and when he came in.
Also, you know, the Penn
So-
State games are also on TV every week, so they're very easy to watch too. So, I mean,
So Miles Sanders is Doug guy. That's the kind of running back he wants for Doug's offense. And he'll do anything to get him in the game. Even if it's at the expense of team success.
Yeah, but look at the running backs from 2017 as well. Like, you just had so many varieties. You had your LeGarrette Blount that could pound it, up the middle and carry you to wins like he did in that Chargers game.
Yeah.
Ajayi
could
was
catch the ball.
speedy
Yeah.
too.
Elusiveness out of Ajayi, and you had Corey Clement that could catch the ball out of the backfield. So you had a three-headed monster, and it was like teams came in. It's like, how do we stop this?
And that's the other problem I have with this team.
Jeffrey that year was catching everything. in sight.
Everything. Yep.
Aguilar was still a man and catching the
Yep.
ball.
This franchise needs to stop trying to recapture 2017.
Yeah.
That's a once-in-a-generation football team. The way everything fell together, Carson's seasons. Carson's never going to have, probably never going to have, no one has seasons like that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe once every 5 years. I mean, Lamar's doing it this year, but it's different. Carson did it more throwing, where Lamar just is taking over the league. He's like the fifth leading rusher in the whole league. It's ridiculous. Mahomes did it last year. There's Mahomes.
Oh, my goodness.
What? Did he just throw the ball 60
arm.
yards?
They're in Mexico City,
Yeah.
so they got the altitude.
That was from what?
That
Was it from the?
They have
his
more
30
out-
20 to the
20.
20. Yeah, and it looked like he just flipped it.
Yeah.
They have more altitude here than they do at
Oh, really?
in Denver.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I wonder how far he could throw
Look,
the ball.
they're just showing it right now.
Jeez.
70 yards in the air. That guy, he's a freak.
70 yards. Oh,
But the Eagles need to stop trying to recapture 2017. You're not going to have three backs that do that, or that are just a perfect mix, and you can just sub them in and out. You got one back right now. You had one back yesterday. Boston Scott, maybe here and there you give him a touch. It shouldn't be a 50-50 split
Yeah.
between Miles Sanders, your second-round pick, the future of your backfield, and Boston Scott. I couldn't even tell you where he came from.
Well, that's what
couldn't
you were
tell you
saying.
where he played in college.
Yeah.
And he doesn't catch the fucking punts.
Thank you for bringing that up.
That
pissed
cost
me.
them
that-
really
He doesn't
bad
catch
yesterday.
the punts.
That cost them big time.
Oh my
yesterday.
God! I almost went berserk.
And the one
he did it three times.
And the one
Yeah,
he
but the
did,
one at the end of the game.
Yeah.
The one at the end of the game. He needs to
The
catch
one at the end of the
ball.
game, I lost
Cost him-
my shit.
Cost him 12
It
seconds.
cost
Yeah.
him 12 seconds and 10 fucking yards.
Yeah, I mean that
it's
was
ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean,
he just
didn't-
stands there and watches it, and the guys are right. First off, the Patriots punter is a cheat code because he kicks the ball and it's got no spin on it. It just plops there.
Yeah. It has no backspin to it. Yeah.
Our guy kicks the ball, it rolls down 95 into Delaware.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's the little things that the Patriots do that why they won.
Yeah, well,
what,
he could drop
6 out of the last 9 Super Bowls.
He could drop a kick. He could drop a kick.
But Boston
anywhere.
Scott, my God, like you can't have a guy back there who's not going to catch the ball.
Tyreek Hill is limping off the field.
Man.
Oh boy,
It's all right. He'll be all right.
That's a hammy.
that's a hand. Yeah. Oh
He's
boy.
all right.
No, he's not playing.
He's
anymore.
all right.
He's out for the game.
Yeah, he's fine.
That 5.5 is looking awfully good now.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's awful for fantasy. Awful. But yeah, Boston Scott, catch the punt.
Yeah.
If he's back there against Seattle, I'm really gonna have a problem. Because that's terrible. He's the
Well,
worst.
the thing that I was laughing at is that he didn't catch the ones, and they bounced all the way down to the 2, which made us put in horrible field position. Then when at the end of the game, it's like, oh, now you want to catch it. Now you want to catch it. And then, like you said, they run the 12 seconds off the clock, and nothing happens.
I mean, what are you doing?
He's a horrible.
You
He's
have
a
to-
horrible
You
player.
have to catch that ball.
Yep.
And it's a shame because he actually had a couple nice runs where he got up in the hole.
But you
quick.
can't even be thinking about trying to catch the ball and then returning it. You've got to just catch the ball, save as much time as you can, and take it from there.
Yep.
I mean, it was every punt because the Patriots they had a short field a lot because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Patriots also yesterday, I've never seen them as conservative as they were yesterday.
Yeah, but
They
played
were ultra
They played
conservative.
keep away. They knew the Eagles weren't gonna do anything.
They came out the second half and just up-tempoed, and it
Well,
killed
when
us.
they scored that touchdown, to go ahead, it was like they were saying, "Okay."
I know, and they
You
got their
are
trick play on us.
Yeah.
They got their oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
my
a pretty.
God.
That was a pretty
They-
good play.
Oh yeah, but they tried the one and it didn't work.
Yeah.
They were itching to get a trick play on us because of the Philly
yeah.
special.
Oh yeah. Well,
They were
Julian
itching,
Edelman
and they got
made
one.
hell of a throw.
He was actually a quarterback at Kent State, yeah.
Yeah.
That was one hell of a throw. I mean, the only other receiver that I can think of that could throw like that is Beckham.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, other than those two.
Well, that and
usually when
Darby.
they do that,
I think it was Darby. Because I don't think Jalen Mills would quit on a play like that. Darby just, like, Dorsett just ran right across the field, and
yeah, but
Darby
just
didn't follow him at all.
they were so fooled by that play. They really were. I mean, listen, you got to give them credit. That was a hell of a play.
But that I wasn't fooled by it sitting in section 220. But everyone on the field is 220.
Yeah, but you can see
Julian
the field.
Edelman, he goes back, catches the screen pass, goes back 3 more yards, and then launches it. Like, the second he starts backpedaling,
Yeah. knew
you
he
should
was
know,
throwing it.
whoa,
Hello?
what's going on?
Hello?
Especially since they just because they did they did the one in the first quarter. I think it was the first half for sure, where they did like a screen pass, and then they threw it all the way back across the field to Brady, and then, Brady launched it. But
and it should have been a pick. Yeah, it should have been a pick by Maddox.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was fine with the incompletion. Fine with the incompletion. But, like, how do I know that something's going on that play in Section 220 and they don't?
Yeah.
You just watch, like, he had no interest in I don't know. It just the whole
Listen, you can't complain about the way about the Eagles' defense though. Yesterday, I mean, they played very well. To hold the team like
Brad,
that,
it's these little things that get under my skin that these good teams do and the Eagles don't.
well,
Because their assistant coaches aren't on their game.
yeah, and,
Special teams
a lot of
coach isn't
people
on their game.
A lot of people are still
Deuce
thinking,
is not a look. I
they
like
have-
Deuce.
They Eagles
I like
still have that
Deuce.
pedigree. I mean, you're not going to be able to convince a lot of teams.
What do you mean? What pedigree? You win one Super Bowl in 60 years, and you have pedigree.
Yeah, because it just happened 2 years ago.
But they
and
don't.
Last
But they
year,
don't.
And last year they won a playoff game. So I mean,
They did
you know
win a
what?
playoff game last
So
year.
yeah, so everybody still has a lot of healthy respect for them.
Wow,
Look at this.
Melvin Gordon. He was plus 260 to go over 100 yards tonight. So
Really?
two
That was
and a half to 1 to go over 100 yards.
Yeah, the Chiefs' defense
Oh, he
is
was.
not.
Oh, so you're getting to it. So he was.
Yeah. So you bet 100 to win 250.
Oh, that's a pretty good bet. 'Cause-
Looking good right now.
I mean, he just got a
What, he
fifth
got
of it
15 of
on
that?
one
Yeah.
on one play.
Yep.
But it's tough because they put Eckler in there sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some comments here.
Okay, we got a bunch of them here.
Are you on YouTube?
Yes,
Look,
I
you,
am.
You brought YouTube up all by yourself?
Yes, I did. How do you
Proud
like
of
that? It only took me 2 years to figure this out, or 3 years.
You do it sometimes, but
Bryce-
seldom.
Bryce Blackwell, we
What's up,
have.
Bryce?
He's saying that Doug was awful. Wentz wasn't great, but the coaching staff and the weapons suck.
They don't. The coaching staff doesn't set Carson up for success. Carson needs to be under center more. Remember how good a game he had against Buffalo because he was under center? They ran 21 personnel because of the weather, and Carson played really well. He was under center at North Dakota State majority of the time.
And he agrees with you about Howie. We have Eddie Sanchez saying.
Wait, I said a lot of stuff about Howie. Some good, some bad. Which
Well,
part?
he just said true on Howie.
Okay.
So I don't know specifically, but we have Eddie Sanchez who says Doug and Groh can't coach Wentz. Letting go Frank Wright was the worst mistake they made.
Well, you can't
you
can't stop him from getting a head coaching
coach.
job.
No.
But what the part I don't understand, we're talking
Screw
about
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
Yeah, but Josh McDaniels makes more as a assistant coach, offensive coordinator.
Yeah, than he did
Than
the
most.
head-
Than
Well,
most
they
coaches do.
clearly just said, "Yo, Josh, stay here, coach the offense.
Look.
Whenever Bill retires,
There's-
you're our guy."
Yeah,
That's
and you
what
know
happened.
But the bottom line is there are two coaches in New England who are never going anywhere besides for Belichick. Okay, Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, and Dominic Scarsese, the offensive line coach.
Yeah.
I mean, those two guys just aren't. They're not going to leave because they get paid more than most NFL coaches do.
But
So they're not going anywhere.
where the Eagles, which I don't understand, I don't know if Doug and DiFilippo didn't get along or Howie and DiFilippo didn't get along. I don't understand how you let DiFilippo out of your building to take an offensive coordinator job in Minnesota when you just lost your offensive coordinator. Like, did you see what Carson did in 2017 with Flip as his quarterback coach? Like,
MVP
just
numbers.
be like, here, I would pay him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league to stay. You don't want to go to Minnesota. It lasted like 4 weeks because him and Zimmer just
Wow, did he
philosophically
just miss that easy field goal?
philosophically
It was a
just
flag.
didn't get along.
Oh, okay.
And now he's in
Jacksonville with Nicky Foles.
with Nick Foles.
Yep.
And we'll see. The Jags are the Jags, but they have talent there. Foles didn't play bad yesterday despite getting run.
He didn't play well.
He started well. And he threw the ball to DJ Chark a lot, which made me happy.
He had a bad middle, and then he got hot at the end. But most of the yardage he got yesterday was really during excessive garbage time. So I don't know about that. I
I
mean,
don't disagree.
And look at the 2017, just the coaching staff in general, where, like you were saying with Frank Reich and John DiFilippo and Carson coming into the league in 2016. So Carson's coming into the league with two former backup quarterbacks that backed up Hall of Famers. One, Doug Peterson with Brett Favre, and then
And
Frank
Dan
Reich.
Marino.
Yeah, and Dan Marino. And then Frank Reich did it
Jim
with Jim
Kelly.
Kelly. So you have two former quarterbacks that backed up Hall of Famers that you can nitpick from, and they game plan every single week. And then you have DiFilippo, who everywhere he's been as a quarterback's coach has been great. And then you lose both of them, and you're seeing what's happening right now. I mean, look at the Atlanta Falcons. That's a good example. Kyle Shanahan was amazing with Matt Ryan. Mm-hmm. Kyle Shanahan leaves to go to San Francisco. That offense is a complete joke now. It's terrible. It's a very bad offense.
I don't think Dan.
Even
I think
with
Dan Quinn's very good.
even with Julio in the lineup every week.
okay, we have some
It's
more
still bad.
comments.
Go
We have
ahead.
some more comments here on
We're getting to Facebook
YouTube.
soon.
Eddie Sanchez, Doug and Groh can't coach Wentz. Letting go of Frank Reich was the worst mistake the
You
Eagles
can't
made.
keep him. You can't keep him down and prevent him from being a head coach. You
David
can't do it.
Roscoe wants to talk about Colin Kaepernick, and we're going to leave Colin
Yeah,
Kaepernick alone.
No, if he signs, we'll talk about him. I promise. But
he's
until
not-
he signs,
He's a
which I think he's going to sign with the Patriots tomorrow.
He's just trying to
Watch.
he's
No,
just-
because they got their shit pushed in by
he's just
Lamar
trying-
Jackson, and Bill wants to get in on that party, that
You think so?
mobile quarterback party.
Yeah, he just wants.
Even if he just puts him on the practice squad and practices,
He doesn't want to play.
Be Lamar
So,
Jackson.
He's just looking for an excuse to try to sue the NFL again. He's a scammer. NX 750 Gaming should have been Sanders. A few Jay touches. I don't think Jay was actually ready to play, to be honest with you. I mean, they just signed him. It's one thing when Jordan Matthews is out there as a receiver going out for passes.
Yeah, who stinks, by the way.
Right,
He stinks.
But
I'm not. Everyone's like it's a big upgrade over Matt Collins. I'm not so sure.
a running back.
I'm really not.
A running back going in there this first week. You don't know if how well he can take a hit.
Yeah.
He had a really bad injury before.
Yeah, but
he
you
was
can't
free
you
agent.
can't call 34 dive for Ajayi to get his feet wet a little bit.
I mean,
I
the
mean, he
problem
didn't
is-
even touch the field. He didn't even sniff the field yesterday.
He
I don't-
dressed, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did, but they probably shouldn't have dressed him. I mean,
Well, they have so many injuries that like there's not.
I guess. We have David Roska, as I said, with Colin Kaepernick. Jalene Williams, we should have picked up DeAnthony Thomas to return kicks.
That's a good pull. Who said that?
Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams, smart fan. I like it
Yeah,
I
not
like it.
bad,
That's a
not
good
bad.
name.
And
because he can play slot too.
Yeah.
He did everything.
Not
at
a
Oregon.
bad idea, I'll tell you.
And for Andy Reid here in Kansas City,
NX
similar
750.
offenses.
NX 750 is calling for DiFilippo to have been the offensive coordinator.
Well, that's a no-brainer, but that ship has sailed.
Yeah, and that's kind of
I didn't mean to go down. I didn't mean to get into the good
Yeah,
old days of 2017 with Flip and how he should still be here, but that's how it worked out here in the first hour. But yeah, he should be the offensive coordinator. He should be Carson's one-on-one offensive coordinator, and have Deuce do everything else. Let's get to the Facebook. Dion Brown, what's up, fellas?
How you doing there, Dion?
What up, Dion?
Hold on, I lost it. What up, fellas? You had another tough loss yesterday, but can't win dropping balls and lack of protection. As far as tonight, I'll take the Chiefs all day. Yeah, and I think the Eagles are going to lose to Seattle, and I think they're going to beat the Dolphins, and I think they're going to beat the Giants twice, and I think they're going to beat the Redskins. The only game that matters
The Cowboys
is the Cowboys game in Week 16.
Yeah,
and-
but here's the question I want to put to
Well,
you.
the Cowboys aren't beating New England like next
If-
week, so it's not gonna. It's
Dak's Dak's about to get himself paid.
he may get himself paid, but they're not beating New England.
It's in Foxborough, too.
Yeah, they're not going to New England. They're not
425?
going to Foxborough and
Yeah,
winning there. Come on.
425.
I thought the game got flipped to Sunday night.
I don't think so.
No, it stayed at 425.
Which game got slipped to Sunday night then?
The
Packers.
Oh, the
Niners.
Packers and
yeah.
the Niners.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that I want to give you a question. If the Eagles lose this Sunday,
Yeah.
do you still have them making the playoffs?
No, I'm a 9. I've been a 9-7 guy for weeks.
So then losing to the Seahawks, they're done. Because
No.
they're done then.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
So you have the Cowboys going 9-7 as well.
They could.
No, the Cowboys are gonna get the 10.
Yeah, but
They're
look
gonna
at
beat
the,
the Eagles to get the 10.
but look at those two
Oh,
wild cards.
it pains me to say it, but I don't think the Eagles can move the ball good enough to beat any team that's of any consequence.
So if the Eagles lose Sunday, in your mind, do the Eagles still make the playoffs?
Yeah, they could still.
I don't
think
think they're.
To me, you have to win this Sunday to keep your hopes alive.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. Because then you have to fight for the
Mathematically,
division.
you don't. That's your 7th. That's what.
Yeah, but the two wild
You're
cards.
5-5 right now.
I understand
You
that.
have to win the division.
You have to win the division, though.
Yeah, but you still right now you have a path to 11 wins. You have to win out.
have to
It's
win
going to be
out.
hard. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to lose this Sunday. That's your 6th loss. That's what 5-6.
5-6.
2 against the Giants.
Yeah, so the best
7
you
and
can finish
6.
is 10-6.
That's going to win the division.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because the Cowboys have 3 straight home games now. After the Patriots, they have 3 straight home games. They got the Buffalo Bills, they got the
Win.
Bears, and they got the Rams all at home.
You better hope the Patriots do their part on Sunday.
I would think the
That's
Patriots.
what I'm saying. Like the
I think
Eagles
the Patriots
have to
will
win
win-
this game
Honestly,
to make the playoffs.
I think the Patriots will beat the Cowboys, and I think the Rams will beat the Cowboys. And the Rams will beat the Cowboys just like they did in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Because they'll run the ball right down their throats because for whatever reason, they match up well against the Cowboys. So I could see the Cowboys losing 2 games, just like I could see the Eagles losing to New England to Seattle next week. So It's all going to come down to that game, Week 16 game between the Eagles and the Cowboys. That's going to be the
Them
game.
losing to Minnesota was huge. The Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, and they lost to Green Bay as well, and the Eagles found a way to beat Green Bay. Problem is Dallas beat Detroit.
And we also beat the Jets, and they lost to the Jets. That's another tiebreaker.
Yeah,
But that's all.
Yeah, but the Lions.
What's the Cowboys' record right
now? But the Lions.
6-4.
They're
the
6-4. They're a
6-4.
game up.
They beat the Lions though. The Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean,
And it's
they
a
can.
conference game. It's in your conference.
They can really, like, if Dallas somehow wins on Sunday, God forbid, they beat
win
the
the division.
Patriots. It's pretty much clinched.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Unless the Eagles beat the Seahawks.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking you
As
guys.
long, but I'm saying I don't think that's going to happen because I think the Patriots defense is just too good.
Yeah, and it's
and
at home.
Yeah,
It's in
The
Foxborough.
Cowboys are not going to win in Foxborough.
It's probably going to be pretty cold. But I mean, if Dorsett doesn't play, the
They'll find
Patriots,
somebody.
the Patriots just really aren't that dynamic.
They'll find somebody.
Yeah, they'll find a way though. They always do.
Yeah.
Or they'll get somebody on the waiver
hear you,
wire.
They'll get
but-
Jimmy off of 34th Street to go
If-
play football.
Chalk prevails,
Yeah, exactly.
and the Cowboys and the Eagles do what they think they're going to do. Week 16 is going to be for the division.
Yeah, Week 16 is going to be Week 16.
Well, they
is
can't
going
now.
Yeah, no.
Week 16 is going to be for the NFC East.
Plus, it's a 425 game. Pretty sure all those 425.
Or all divisional or.
Well, no, I think
Clinchers.
Fox has, Fox made it so they can't take that one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if the Cowboys win this Sunday and the Eagles lose, pack it up.
Yeah,
Pack it up. Done.
I feel you on that.
Unless they, I don't think the Bills are good. I don't know how you guys feel about the Bills.
They're okay.
I don't think they're good.
I don't think they're going into Dallas and beating the Cowboys.
That's Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm saying. Is
that Thanksgiving?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I-
That's
I
what I'm
just-
saying. Like the
I can't
Cowboys
see that.
have
I can't see that happening.
3 straight home games, and listen, the Bears might be playing Chase Daniels that game, because of Mitch Trubisky's hip.
Well,
Well,
that might,
supposedly
yeah, but
hip
that's
injury.
yeah,
They
but that's
stink.
probably a plus.
They're not going to be.
So that's going to be a win then. So then you have if
agree.
you have them beating the Bears and beating the Bills, I mean that's 2 wins right in a row.
And I don't think the Rams are anything too great either. I think that's a win.
So if they
winnable
lose-
game
I don't
as
think
well.
they're
they
beating.
lose to-
I don't think they're beating the Rams.
That's
I think the Rams will beat
it's
the
an
Cowboys.
it's an even match.
I think the Rams
Looking
will
at
beat
it
the Cowboys.
Looking at it objectively, that's an even match.
Well, I'll tell you
Both
what,
teams are flawed. David Rosca, what's up, guys?
What up, Roscoe?
David Sierra, what's the score? The score is 3-0.
for the
The
Chargers.
Chargers up on the Chiefs, so hopefully you didn't listen to us and took the over.
Well,
Greg
if you listened to
Malakovic.
me, you would have had the Chargers plus 5.5.
Well, I mean, that can still lose.
Yeah.
The over can still hit, too. Greg Malakovic, check out Greg Wednesday nights on AM and the PM. What's up, fellas? I disagree to the poll. Going with the Chargers, this is the time of the year they start winning. I mean, usually, but Phil Rivers has been bad this year.
Yeah, he's been very bad.
I mean, he usually-
I think his time's up.
He usually has great seasons, and then he'll throw in a game or two where he'll just throw 6, 7 interceptions. But he hasn't
Didn't
thrown
have much
for.
didn't have much of a chance on that one.
Yeah.
He hasn't really thrown for many yards. I don't know. He looks.
Well,
I
the
agree with you.
Chargers, I mean, ever since, I've been born and watching football, the Chargers have always been a slow start team, even with LaDainian Tomlinson when they had LT. They've always been.
They had some bad teams too when
Yeah.
LaDainian was there. Unfortunately for him.
I mean, they've always been a slow start team, and you saw it last year, and you saw it this year. They just started out very, very slow, and then
Well, they just gave the
the
ball
month
to the
November
right.
comes,
They just gave the ball to the right guy, Mr. Gordon.
holding his knee.
Uh-oh.
He's fine. He's a little shaken up. He's a really good player.
Yes, he is.
He's about to get paid.
You
Someone will
think
pay
you
him.
think he stays?
No,
No, he's gone.
no.
He'd be perfect on your team.
Oh my God, I would love him.
Who?
I
the
wish
Eagles?
Yep.
I would love.
I'm not
Melvin
paying
Gordon.
that much for a running back. No shot.
He's not Todd Gurley numbers though. He's not even Zeke's number.
He's pretty damn
I'm not.
good,
I'm not
though.
spending
He is,
that
though.
money.
But he's not. He's
I'm not spending that
he's
money
not
on
Zeke. He's not Todd Gurley. Like number wise. Like,
Look,
I'm not.
if
giving
you
him-
don't-
No, he's
not
he's
giving him
asking for
6
that
If you don't
kind-
run a fucking 4-3 and play receiver, you're not in my offseason Eagles plan. Stop with Melvin Gordon. Give me a break. You bring back Howard. You have Sanders. Are you guys out of your mind? You want to sign Melvin Gordon?
Yeah, I
Did
would.
you watch the fucking Eagles
I would.
receivers yesterday? You want to sign Melvin Gordon?
I would. Yeah, I would. I would. Rob.
You're out of your mind.
What? Melvin Gordon? I would right now over Jordan Howard. Come on, man.
Jordan Howard have a terrific year. Big Jordan Howard
Oh,
fan.
and
He's going to
I
be
know.
way,
Yeah, but
way
Jordan
less
Howard
cheap.
doesn't catch
And
the
I
ball.
don't put it past Howie to just give up the 5th-round pick for Howard and send him on his way, and then pick another guy in the 3rd round. But stop, Melvin Gordon. If you don't run a 4-3, can catch the ball, and can run a complete route tree, you're not in my plans.
Melvin
You're not in
Gordon
my
is an
plans.
outstanding receiver.
That's not the point, Brad.
But you don't have a running back who can go and catch the ball.
Yes, you can. You have Miles
Who?
Sanders.
He's not that good.
Do you watch the games?
He's not
Are
as
you
good as
kidding
Melvin
me?
Gordon. Are you kidding me?
He catches
He's not
6
as
weeks
good
in a
as
row.
Melvin
He had the
Gordon.
biggest, led the,
He's
had the
not as good
biggest,
as Melvin
biggest
Gordon.
play on the whole Eagles offense. Atlanta, Detroit, Minnesota.
They all
He's the
lost
only
those
guy
games.
Carson trusts on the whole team to throw a jump ball to.
Melvin Gordon is a lot better than he is. Come on. Look at the
I
yardage.
don't
Look at the
disagree with
careers.
that, but
It
Melvin
depends on-
Gordon,
it depends on the money he'd
he didn't play for how many weeks because he wants to be a top-paid running back?
We'll see how much money he ends up getting.
Some idiot team like the Buccaneers are going to make him a top 5 paid running back, and they're going to be disappointed in 2 years.
Well, I mean, if you're going to pay him $60 million for 4 years.
What do
or
you
something-
think he's gonna
or something
get?
like that. Well, if he's going to get that, I wouldn't pay him that either. But, I mean, I don't know what he's going to get. It's hard to say with running backs now.
Sign Melvin Gordon after watching that game yesterday. Jeez, oh man.
Well, you got to get a receiver, too. That's for sure.
You need a whole room of receivers.
Yeah, well, you could draft receivers, though.
I mean,
A lot of good receivers out
I mean, is
in
there any
college
good
football this year.
free agent wide receivers that you can
I
go
don't know.
grab this year?
I don't know.
Robbie Anderson?
Because can you trust Howie drafting? At least getting good talent. That's
Maybe.
the question.
Okay, but you can't just teams are built through the draft.
Are they?
It's just yes.
Are they?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
the good
The Eagles
ones
won
are.
the Super Bowl because of their Carson Wentz,
Half of those dudes were free agents though that came in 2017.
Samalu, Wentz,
Come
Jalen
on.
Mills.
Sam Ollie wasn't even on the offensive line. It was Big V at left tackle.
He played guard. What are you talking about?
No, he didn't. Wisniewski played guard.
I have my drafts mixed up then. Where's Chuck's article? You can't just disregard the draft because you don't think Howie can draft. And it's a team effort between this coaching staff and Howie not being able to draft. JJ can play. He can stay. Deshaun's on the team. It pains me to say that Alshon's going to be on the team, even though I would almost eat the $26 million dead cap to get him out of the room.
Who, Alshon?
Yeah, because I think he's declining.
He's
I
got
think
that
he's
big check.
injury prone, and I think that he's a big problem with, Carson. I think he's the guy barking his mouth that just seen
You
it.
think so?
Okay, here are the free agent wide receivers. Michael Thomas got an
Yeah,
extension.
he's
correct?
not. No,
All right.
he's not.
Did Tyreek Hill get an extension?
Yes,
Okay. Did Cooper get an extension?
not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. AJ Green.
No.
Not interested.
Okay. Robbie Anderson.
Maybe.
Yeah. He's up there.
Yeah. I mean those are
Is that it?
well for the top ones. Yeah, it's slot players like Nelson Aguilar,
No.
Tyler Boyd.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders, Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman's never going to play for another team besides the Patriots.
Probably not. Are you interested in tight ends?
No, we have 2 tight ends that are awesome.
Okay, so I mean those are the top receivers that are available. So I mean, oh boy, the Chargers just coughed up the football.
That's what it was. Big V in the 5th round started at left tackle for you
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl.
After Peters got hurt. Yep.
And then Jalen Mills is a 7th-round pick.
Yep.
So you got your franchise quarterback, your number 1 corner, and a left tackle that helped you win the Super Bowl. That's an A-plus draft. That's an A-plus draft. 2017 is where it went off the rails. Barnett, decent. Sidney Jones, horrible. Rasul Douglas, horrible. Mac Hollins, horrible. Donnell Pumphrey, horrible. Shelton Gibson, horrible. Nate Jerry, horrible. Elijah Quells, Corey Clement came in as an undrafted free agent.
That was the only guy that...
That's a big fail. That's a big fail. That draft is the reason you have the oldest team in the league.
Yeah, well, we had the third oldest roster right now in the league.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's really bad.
But that draft is why this team is so old, and you have to rely on so many veterans.
Yep.
And then I just read a report online from the A2D social media page that they're looking to give Jenkins more money.
Yeah, Jenkins.
More money.
Lane,
I'm totally
and
against
Zach.
that.
Jenkins,
Malcolm
Lane, and Zach.
Jenkins has been awful this season.
Yeah.
He's been awful. He plays his own defense. Did you see the play yesterday? It was like 3rd and 4. And he's matched up on Ben Watson in the slot.
Yeah, and they had the miscommunication.
And he just but is it a miscommunication when Malcolm Jenkins is the only one doing the wrong thing?
Yeah. And
His
then
guy's
Benjamin
out, and he
Watson,
runs across the field in the opposite direction to Ben Watson, who is 40 years old, and I'm pretty sure I'd run a faster 40 than him. Runs for 15 yards.
Yeah.
But getting back to the draft, and then 18, you have limited picks in that draft. You didn't have a first-round pick. You take Goddard in the second round, 49th overall. Maddox in the 4th round. Can we agree that those are two
Solid picks.
hits? And
Solid picks.
then Josh Sweat's not very good. Then the rest are 6th, 7th rounders. And Josh Adams did lead your team in rushing last year. He was an undrafted rookie. So, and then 2019, Dillard Sanders, top of the draft. Pretty good. And then I'm not giving up on Arcega-Whiteside. I want to see him with a real receivers coach. So you can't just disregard the draft because you think Howie can't draft. You still have to hit on these picks to be successful. And it's law of averages. They're going to hit on these guys. Hopefully they learn from their shortcomings in, 2017?
Yeah.
Do you see what Mahomes just did?
What?
There was nobody open, so he ran for it.
Yeah, and when he saw that he was going to get hit, what did he do?
He slid.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Okay? He could have, if he wanted to, he could have tried to get a first down.
Carter's not taking hits this year. Running.
But Carson needs to do some of that.
He's getting beat up in the pocket a little bit because he's holding the ball too long because he doesn't trust his receivers. But
that, and they can't get separation, though, Rob.
I understand why he's getting hit in the pocket.
That's what I don't understand about people when they say, "Oh, Carson's holding the ball too." Well, he's holding on the ball so long because nobody can get separation.
He's either got to chuck it out of bounds or run, like Brad's saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just sit back there. If you sit back there, then you're going to be like my boy Danny Dimes, and you're going to get clobbered and fumble.
Which happened.
Which with Danny Jones seems to be a regular occurrence every week. It happened to Carson. That has to stop. Carson's been in the league long enough to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Danny doesn't know better. Okay. He's still a little wet behind the ears. Carson knows better. There's got to be an imaginary clock in your head that says, okay, it's time to get rid of the ball or get the hell out of here.
It's 4 seconds. You got 4 seconds to make up your mind.
Yeah. Bob Brinkman points out that I said it was Ronald Darby on the trick play that stopped covering. Dorsett, it was Jenkins, according to Bob, which that fits because he's constantly in the wrong coverage, constantly doing his wrong thing. I wouldn't give him a cent, and I would tell him, don't let the fucking door hit you on the ass on the way out. He's been god-awful this year.
Yeah.
He's been terrible.
Well, he's getting old.
The Minnesota game, and then I don't know why this team, like we said before, they're always trying to get the band back together. They want to keep 2017 together for as long as possible.
That's what happened.
It's almost like
that's what the Giants did, and look what happened to them.
Yeah, it's almost like the Phillies. Look how long they held on.
You've got to be willing.
It doesn't work. You know why the Patriots win every year?
Because they're cleaning house every year.
They clean house and they get new hungry players in. And they have Brady, who's just an alpha male super competitor. They have Edelman, who's an alpha male super competitor. They have Gilmore, who's an all-pro. They have McCourty, who's
and Van Noy,
a star. I don't know what.
This guy Van Noy is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Kyle
they
Van
find
Noy,
him.
yeah.
Jeez, I mean, where the hell did they find him? What round draft pick was he?
Yeah, and they put it in guys like Van Noy's head that like, yo, nobody thinks you're good but us.
Yeah.
Go kill them. Go kill them. They thought you sucked, and that's why we have you.
Patrick Chung was great with the Patriots. Then they got rid of him.
He was a
Came
bum.
Came to Philly.
Oh my
Came
God.
to Philly.
He sucked here,
Stunk.
and then you send him
Guy
back
was
there.
terrible.
He goes back there again, and now he's back to being great again.
Yeah.
What the? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you know.
Bob thinks that
Oh
Carson.
my goodness! Did they fumble on the 8-yard line?
Well,
Oh,
44.
boy, are they
looks,
lucky.
44
Are they
there
lucky.
looks
Was
perplexed.
that Boston Scott?
Bob thinks
Oh.
no. He would have just ran to the sidelines.
Yeah. He would have never caught this. That's Boston Scott. Yeah.
Oh
Boston,
my God!
catching
Why
the
was?
ball at
Why
the
are you
end.
making an over-the-shoulder catch of the 5-yard line?
What is
on
that
a
guy
punt?
doing?
Yeah.
Well, the
Why
guy
wouldn't
clearly he misjudged how far the
But
punt
why
was
wouldn't you
gonna
let
go
the ball
because
just go into the
Yeah.
end zone and get the ball at the 20?
We've been asking that for Boston Scott
don't know.
yesterday. It's
I don't know.
blows my
No,
mind.
he was pretty
because
clueless
the
yesterday.
special teams aren't crisp because they don't kickoff returns are nothing anymore.
Yeah, but you gotta have
you
a
don't really
brain when it comes to
practice it.
punt
How much you want to
returns.
bet like next year? Just get the ball in 25. Just because someone might get hurt.
A lot of
Because
people out of jobs.
Because Goodell is ruining football. That's why.
A lot of people out
I
of
was
jobs
right.
then.
I was right. I'm sorry. I dogged Malcolm when I shouldn't have. But Bob said I was right. It was 21. That's Darby.
Yeah.
27 is Jenkins. So I was right. He was the one that stopped covering Dorsett. Yep. All right.
Want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break. Sports Hounds be back. HUD Radio. We got Baseball Hall of Fame talk. We got college football talk, and we got early leans previewing next weekend's college and pro football. HUD Radio Sports Hounds will be back right after this.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome back. Sports Hounds, A2D Live, A2D Radio. Stream us on Periscope, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Stream us, download us, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, all over the place. Rob Brinkman, Brad Ryer, Ralphie, stepping in for Frank. As always, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. Visit specializedphysicaltherapy.com for more information about their services. 3 convenient locations, no appointment necessary. Brad, I want to get into some college football because this is getting interesting in terms of this playoff.
Yeah, it is. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Alabama going to be ranked number 5 now?
They should be, yes.
Tagovailoa, is that how you pronounce
No,
it?
it doesn't matter about. I mean, that's a shame that the kid got hurt.
Since he's hurt,
I don't see their path to the playoff
I don't either.
because the SEC championship game, it's definitely determined that Georgia's won the East. I don't know if LSU officially has the West clinched, but it's going to be LSU and Georgia in the SEC title game.
And they could easily. Well, no, if Georgia loses, they're done.
They're done. That's their second loss, and they'll be done. And the only reason they're done is because they lost to South Carolina, who stinks.
Alabama plays them this week.
South Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama's going to win, but like the Mac Jones, something like that, is the guy they're going to put in. Like, he's probably a 4 or 5 star recruit.
Yeah,
He's just
probably.
slinging around. Know who their second stringer is?
Who?
Tua's younger brother.
Oh, jeez, really?
Yeah, so he's the backup now. He's a right-handed Tua. So they're fine. I don't see a path to the playoff for them.
Alabama?
I don't see how you can put Alabama in the playoff.
They could back in, but I mean, right now you'd have to say LSU, Ohio State,
Clemson,
and Georgia. Right now.
Georgia.
Yeah, as of right now.
Well, Georgia jumped Alabama after Alabama lost to LSU.
Right.
And Georgia just beat Auburn
Yeah.
at Auburn.
Yeah,
so
Georgia's not going to lose.
Drop them.
Yeah, Georgia's not going to lose any ground. Now, this week you've got a real intriguing game with Penn State and Ohio State. Now, my question with Penn State
That's
is
this week?
Yeah, that's this week. Penn State had a couple of key injuries in their victory against Indiana. I can't remember the names of those 2 guys. Would you guys happen to know who they
Ohio
were?
State's favored by 18 points in that game.
Against Penn State?
Yeah.
Which is this week, right? This
That's
Saturday.
the top 10 Penn State getting 18 points.
Well, they're at Ohio State.
They're at
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Penn State
taking
lost
the 18 points.
Penn State lost their 2 best offensive players.
I get it, but their defense it's got
Their
some bite to it.
Their defense was very shaky against Indiana, particularly in the
But they're
first
looking
in the
ahead.
first
They're
half.
looking ahead. They're looking ahead.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, once they settled down, they did. For the most part, they settled down, and then they kind of let Indiana back
they're
in.
They're a bowl game. Like, they're solid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they have 7 wins already.
So, I mean, it's not that inconceivable that they can give Penn State a game, especially when it's on the road. Like, Indiana's the home team.
No, the game was in Penn State.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't watch. That's probably one of the only games
I watched almost the whole game. Here's the problem with Penn State. And I'd be remiss if I made a statement that they had 2 guys hurt. I don't watch a lot of college football, as you know, but I did watch a lot of it on Saturday. They had 2 key injuries, Penn State.
Yeah, but these teams, they have the Penn States, Ohio States, Alabamas of the world. They just plug someone else in who might even be better.
Yeah.
They weren't better. They weren't better against Indiana. They stopped.
Okay,
they
but
stopped
they're gonna
moving
have
the
a whole
ball.
week of practice.
And we all know how James Franklin is in a big game. He's a great recruiter, but when the big game comes up,
It's true. Look, I think Ohio State's going to win the game, but I mean that's a fierce rivalry. And
Noah Kane, and Trent Gordon do appear that they're going to return. So
I'm taking plus 18 though, big time. Fierce rivalry like that.
Yeah. I mean that's a lot of points.
But the 3 things I learned about college football on Saturday is Georgia has by far the best defense in the country. It's not even close.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's not
so
even
good.
close.
It's so good.
If they get in, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
Okay, KJ Hamler, who's probably their best
he's a stud.
receiver.
He's a draft pick.
He got hurt last week.
What's
I don't.
his status?
Yeah, that's something you have to find out. And again, when he got hurt, he was the key player that got hurt last week against Indiana. They need him. They can't afford to not have him. That's for sure.
I don't disagree with you.
Because they're gonna have trouble. They're gonna have trouble scoring against Ohio State. That's what would worry me. I mean, their quarterback. He's a spunky guy. He's a gutty quarterback. But I mean, I don't know. You know, with that guy Hamler, boy, he was ripping Indiana to pieces when he was in there. You know, what saved Penn State was Indiana got it to within 3 points with 9 minutes to go. And with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Penn State went on a 9-minute touchdown drive.
Wow.
9 minutes. They ran the ball right down their throats, got the touchdown, and ended up with a 10-point lead. And then Indiana, as crazy as it may sound, threw a bomb down 10 points. They connected with the bomb, and they got it back down to 3 again, but they didn't recover the onside kick. So that's how Penn State went. That was a wild game. But
Yeah, what am I saying? They're looking ahead. Like, Indiana's not bad, and they're looking ahead. But
Well,
and let me tell you
Indiana
something.
always plays
Oklahoma's
tough.
not going to get into this playoff, but there's no defense in the country that can hold that offense down for 60 minutes. Did you see their comeback win against Baylor?
Yeah, but that's the
this
thing.
wasn't
But-
Baylor had like 28-3.
Yeah, they
They
were.
pulled the Falcons.
They lost that
They
game.
lost.
Yes, they did.
34-31, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Wait a minute, Baylor lost that game.
20, yeah, they were up 28-3
At home.
and blew it at home. Yep.
Nobody can keep.
I didn't realize
Nobody
they
can
lost
keep
that game. I didn't even know they. I
don't know how they lost to Kansas State, but Kansas State didn't stop them that game.
Kansas State isn't that bad.
Yeah, but Big 12 is known for no
Yeah,
defense.
I
though.
get it.
Right.
But it's a
Kansas
shame
State's not that bad.
Same
it's
thing
Kansas.
with the Pac-12.
Kansas is the horrible team, not Kansas
And they're not
State.
going to get in because of that.
No,
No.
They could win out. They could win a bowl. They can win the Big 12. They're not getting in because of that game.
I agree.
The Kansas State game.
Man, no defense in the country can keep them down for.
What
60
about-
And it's a shame because I would love to see a Jalen Hurts versus Alabama.
What about Oregon? You think Oregon has a chance to make the
Yes.
playoffs?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
are a very good team.
Yeah.
All these jabronis in the groups that I'm in that I talk college football with, 'cause I hate Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate Alabama because of that. The guy's just such a douchebag. Like, I can't
That's for
stand the
sure.
guy. I always root against Alabama. And, like, I think Oregon, they have substance. They have a lot of substance. They have a great offensive line. They have a top 10 draft pick at quarterback.
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Oh, they're the ones with Justin Herbert. That's
Yep.
a fumble. I don't know how they could say that that's not a fumble.
So they're going to play Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. And,
Blow them out.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Utah's pretty good.
Utah's also undefeated, aren't they?
No, they lost to USC.
Oh, that's a terrible loss.
Yeah.
An awful loss.
USC stinks.
But they're going to
Aye.
go. They're probably not going to get in because of that USC loss.
Yeah, you can
It's like the
forget them.
Oklahoma
then.
and Kansas State
Yeah, you
Kansas State loss.
You can forget that game then. They're done.
Now,
But
here's the
Oregon could get in because they lost to Auburn. I know Auburn has 3 losses, but their 3 losses are
yeah, but they were
2
against
losses.
two
no,
losses.
Florida, LSU, Georgia. They have 3.
Because
There's no disgrace with any of those games. Can Auburn beat Alabama without Tua?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
I
I
think
think
they can beat Alabama. Auburn's defense is.
Yeah, they are good.
I don't
their
know their-
defense is good. Their
I don't know
offense is
their-
not that good. That's the
Their
problem.
offense is young, but they have number 3 and number 5 on their defensive line that are just animals. Auburn, they're so good. They're always everywhere. They just did. Bo Nix, true freshman, he couldn't do anything against the best defense in the country. LSU is the best team in the country, but the best offense is Oklahoma, and the best defense is Georgia. And Clemson's going to get in because they're not going to lose in the stinkhole ACC. And the fourth team is
It's up for grabs.
yeah.
1 through 3 right now. Who's your locks? 1 through 3.
LSU,
LSU's 1,
Ohio State,
Ohio State, Clemson.
and Clemson. They're
Right
the,
now,
they're the 3.
Right now, it's
Then
Georgia.
who would you put at 4?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia.
And Alabama would be Alabama and Oregon are
Alabama,
right there.
Oregon. I was so happy when Alabama lost that game to LSU.
Me too.
So happy.
Me too.
Coach O? How can you not like Coach O?
Go Tigers.
Against that asshole Nick Saban?
Yeah.
He's the worst.
Nick
Remember when he
Saban.
was at LSU? Oh, I'm not going to the Dolphins. Why'd you ask me that? It's crazy. Next day, he's at the Dolphins.
Yep.
Then he's at,
Yeah,
the,
he's
then
full
he's
of
at the
crap.
Dolphins. He's like, well, or you might go to Alabama. That's preposterous. Why would I ever go to Alabama? I love my job here. I'm staying with the Dolphins. Next day, he's at Alabama. He has no character. He has no backbone. He doesn't keep his word. If I were to ever be blessed enough to have a son that's good enough at football to be considered by a school like Alabama, I would tell him, you're not playing for that guy. You're not. You can go anywhere you want in the country. You're not playing for Nick Saban.
Yeah, go play.
Absolutely.
Go play in Ohio State.
Go play for Orgeron, James
Well, he
Franklin.
just cost himself a national championship this weekend. So
Who's that?
Nick Saban for leaving Tua in the game when you're up 35-7.
He's a crumb, but not because of that. His reasoning was fine. He wanted
Yeah, but you're up 35-7.
He
There's
wanted Tua to run the 2-minute drill, which is
He
You
wanted
didn't get
him to
enough practice throughout the season when you're playing.
it's different.
Chattanooga?
It's different in the game.
Come on, dude.
Well, that's another reason I hate Alabama because they never play anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like, you
why
didn't get enough
Oregon,
practice
that's
in week
why,
3 when you're playing University of Chattanooga.
Yeah, but Oregon always plays tough teams.
So you're gonna have Ohio State beat Penn State this weekend. That's second loss for Penn State. They're out.
Yeah, they're done.
Oklahoma can't get in. Utah can't get in because Kansas State and USC aren't good losses.
The only way Ohio State doesn't get in is if
Florida has 2
Michigan
losses.
beats them,
Yeah.
and that could happen.
I don't
That's
know, dude.
not gonna happen.
It's
Nah,
going to be in
that's
Ann
not-
Arbor this year.
Oh, Harbaugh, big game.
Yeah.
Harbaugh, big game. Nope. Nope. He looked
It is
fine
gonna be-
against,
it
he
is
looked
gonna
fine
be
against
in-
your Spartans.
It is going to be in. Yeah, it is going to be in.
They're bad this
in
year.
Ann Arbor,
I thought they
though.
were like a
Very
kind of like a sleeper.
Brian Lewerke, your quarterback, is probably one of the worst quarterbacks
Yeah, but
I've
I
ever seen
thought
in
they were
school
kind
history.
of, building a little something there. I thought they were going to maybe make some noise, but
Not this year, at least. Definitely not this year.
so then you have Ohio State, you have Clemson, you have LSU,
In Ohio State.
them, and then you have it's either going to be Georgia, Alabama, or Oregon for the last spot, in my opinion.
And who? Okay, so if the season ended today,
barring
if
any
the
crazy
season
stuff.
ended today,
Yes,
LSU would be LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, 1, 2, 3,
Georgia.
Yeah.
and then your 4. Just say your 4. You have to pick Alabama, Georgia, or Oregon. Who you picking as your 4?
Georgia.
Your 14.
Georgia.
Okay.
I might pick Oregon because you know what, Georgia's probably going to lose that
but,
game
I mean,
against LSU.
Look,
I'm
these
just looking at
these
the
SEC teams. These SEC teams have an unfair advantage because they get a big game to prove themselves almost every other week, especially if you get the schedule because you only play half the teams from the other division. It's East and West.
Yeah.
You only play half of them. If you get a good draw and get a lot of chances to get quality wins, it's not really fair. Georgia would be my pick because, albeit they have 2 losses and can't get in the playoff, they did beat Notre Dame, and they did schedule up playing Notre Dame, just like Oregon scheduled up and played Auburn, which Bo Nix won the game. Oregon had the game won. Bo Nix, it was week 1.
Yeah.
Bo Nix won it right at the end. So I give those teams credit for scheduling up, even though it didn't go Oregon's way. Because
Oh,
Oregon,
yeah, I forgot Oregon has that 1 loss.
yeah.
Oh,
They're
they
not
have a
as-
loss. I thought
They
they
have
were
Auburn.
undefeated.
No, they lost to
Yeah,
Auburn.
they lost
I
to
forgot
Auburn
about
week
that
1.
game. I forgot about that
But
game.
Alabama, the only team of consequence they've played is LSU, and they lost.
And they pretty much got beat up that game.
Yeah, they were down big and rallied, and
Yeah, but
that's great.
But they could never stop LSU. Every time LSU got the ball, when it got close, every time LSU got the ball, they were in the end zone in 4 or 5 plays.
Yeah, this weekend's game? Yeah.
Against Alabama though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that every time they had the ball, when Alabama got close, every time LSU got the ball, within 3 or 4 plays, they were in the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't even remotely stopped.
I was watching
Joe Burrow in that game was unbelievable.
I was watching
he's the Heisman.
the the show, the Colin Cowherd show on FS1, and how Colin Cowherd had
Great
Joe
show.
Klatt.
He's unfairly criticized as Colin
I love
Cowherd.
Colin Cowherd.
He's the best national guy around by
Yeah.
far. Him and Mad Dog Russo.
He
His
had
guests are the best. His takes are go ahead. Sorry.
Good. He had Joe Klatt on this week, and Joe Klatt was saying about how, if you look at Nick Saban, he can't really beat the mobile quarterbacks, and Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson can't beat the you had Joe Burrow as well. Joe Klatt was saying stuff about how Nick Saban just can't figure out the mobile quarterbacks.
Nobody can, though.
It's tough.
It is tough.
I mean, the mobile quarterbacks have to stay in their lane. The defensive players have to stay in their lane. When they're rushing them, they can't over rush him, because once they get pushed past him, if he goes, he's gone.
Yeah.
There has to be a spy, and if the spy gets blocked, how are you going to stop him? And they almost always get these really mobile quarterbacks.
The
almost always
problem
get the
is
edge.
if there's a mobile quarterback at an Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, he's going to get drafted.
Yeah.
And, not every linebacker they play is a draft pick.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are going to be physical trainers, teachers, selling insurance, whatever they're going to do. They're just
Right.
using football to get a free education, and they're going to build a
and they
career
want
in
to be
business or whatever they want to do.
They want to play football to be the big man on campus.
But,
I mean, that's
and then that brings
what
me
they
that
do.
brings me to Alabama's soft ass schedule. You're Alabama. You can pick up the phone to any program in the country
They'll come
and
play.
and they'll come play.
Yeah.
Anyone you want. So Saturday, August 31st, highlight game. They play Duke. They win 42-3. Saturday, September 7th, New Mexico State comes barreling into Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
62-10 Bama.
By the way, that's the same New Mexico State that last year lost to Rutgers.
Really?
Just
It's good.
Just
That's
want
probably one
to
of
give you
Chris
an
Ash's-
idea. Yeah, just want to give you an idea of how bad New Mexico State is.
Remember, it was this year. Remember when it was like week 3, week 4, Nick Saban came out and he said how he's mad at the student section for leaving games early and stuff like that, and he got bashed for it.
He should get bashed. He should
Yeah.
get bashed.
He came out like earlier on in the season and was complaining about
He's
how the
just a guy-
students were leaving the games early. It's when you're playing Chattanooga and you're up 62-4 or 62-14 in the fourth quarter, ain't nobody staying around for that.
Yeah,
Going
you
to the
proved your
bar.
point.
Yeah.
I'm in the bar. I hit on some co-eds. Like, I'm not staying here.
That's what these guys were gonna do. And,
Yeah.
Grab me a Southern Belle, But you just look at his face and you just want to punch it. I hate the guy. There's not a guy in sports I hate more. Maybe Jason Garrett, just because he gets to
The clapping.
clap.
Emmett Smith.
South
You hated
Carolina.
Emmitt Smith?
Then you're
Oh,
at South Carolina.
I wanted to beat his brains in, but it was a respectful wanted to beat
Yeah.
his brains in because we could never beat him.
Then they play South Carolina in 47-23. South Carolina not good. See, now they got a bad draw out of the SEC East because
Yeah.
they didn't play Florida, they didn't play Missouri, and they didn't play Georgia. Even Missouri, they're not
good.
They're probably the third best team though. And they're always juiced in to playing Tennessee, who sucks, the third Saturday in October. It's like one of the oldest rivalries down there.
Mm-hmm.
So then you play Southern Miss. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to challenge your team so they're battle tested for the playoff?
No, it's more important to be undefeated because you're going to kiss because you
That's not
kiss
true.
the writers' asses.
That's not true.
Yeah, but
This
Alabama's
committee,
going
as
to
we
get it every
progress in
time.
this with this playoff and this committee, they're starting to see through schedules like this.
Do you think he's just scared to give his team a big game early on the season?
I think he's
because-
definitely scared to go on the road early in the season.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely terrified of losing a road game.
Yeah, how about even
early.
playing a middle of the road kind of team
But, like,
instead of awful team?
Why don't
Yeah.
you play? I'm trying to think of an example. Like, who's maybe not a playoff team,
TCU,
but
like a TCU, a Texas A&M, somebody
Texas
like that.
Tech. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like a team like that.
Like take New Mexico State
How about
off.
playing Oklahoma?
yeah.
Oklahoma would play them in a minute.
Anybody would play Alabama.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah.
in the country.
All
But
Nick has to do is just pick up the phone.
Or Michigan. One of
Yeah.
these teams. Play one of these teams. Come on.
so then they smoke Ole Miss. They smoke Texas A&M. They smoke Tennessee. They smoke Arkansas, who just lost to Western Carolina and
Yes,
got
I
their
saw
coach
that.
fired.
Yep.
Awful. Then they
I
lose
think
to
Arkansas
LSU.
is playing LSU this week. So
Yes.
LSU's not doing much losing this week.
No, they're not.
They're gonna win again.
And then you have Mississippi State, who they just killed and Tua got hurt.
Mississippi State stinks.
Now you got Western Carolina on Saturday. Then you got the Iron Bowl.
Against Auburn.
Western, yes. And that is at Auburn this year.
So who do they have before Auburn?
Western Carolina.
That's awesome. Like it's just
What do
mind-boggling.
you mean by
bro.
awesome?
Like awesome, like sarcastic. Like,
Yeah.
Like oh, that's great.
I mean, that's
Like,
that's
schedule.
embarrassing.
I would schedule a bye if you don't want to play before you play Auburn, which I get because they're fucking psychos down there with that game. They're
Yeah.
deep south like that. They kill trees.
It's a great rivalry.
Yeah, they kill trees and they're nuts. They're nuts. The backwoods, they get all into it. Like it's crazy. So if you really don't want to play a game,
Just take a bye.
take the week off.
Yeah. Come back, regroup.
And yeah,
Who is Alabama's backup quarterback?
it's like he played when Tua he played against Arkansas, Jones something or other. He was like 18 for 22. Here, Mac Jones. I was right. He's 6'2", 205.
Perfect weight for a quarterback too.
Yeah.
Like he's just a prototype. He's like built in a laboratory. Where is he? He was 18 for 22, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Ain't gonna lose a beat.
Wouldn't you like the Eagles to have like a quarterback that could do that as a backup?
Yeah.
We had that. Nick Foles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. But there's something called the salary cap, so you can't keep guys like that.
Well, Nick Foles, I know, will probably get blasted again. Nick Foles, average quarterback, lightning in a bottle. I'm trying to look at because what's his face? Can I look at that? Because I know that Tua's younger brother played in that game against Arkansas.
Oh, really?
He got some mop-up time. And he was just like Tua. He was just right-handed. He ran this way and, like, looped around and
That's amazing.
threw it the whole field. But, yeah, I struggle to put Alabama in the playoff based on that schedule. Schedule up. Play somebody. And I hope it's Georgia. I hope Georgia gets in.
Ohio State plays tough teams.
Well, no, but they seem
Yeah,
to
but
always
they always end up playing. Still, they're
right. They're gonna play.
They're gonna play Michigan every year.
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna
they
play
didn't play
Penn
anybody.
State.
They didn't. But they've scheduled up in the past. They played Oklahoma. They played Texas when they had Vince Young. They've gone out and played before. Alabama doesn't go out and play. They stay in the SEC and they don't leave the South in terms of non-conference games.
Yeah, Penn State doesn't ever play anybody
His,
outside.
his brother is 5'11",
I mean, they play Pitt.
214 pounds.
They're always playing Pitt
He's a
and Temple.
truck.
They play Pitt and Temple.
I could be wrong, but I think Penn State has a home-and-home coming up with Auburn.
Good.
Like 21-22.
That's good.
2021 and 2020. Don't quote me on that, but I seem to remember some of my Penn State friends planning that road trip.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that could be interesting.
Yeah,
and Penn State played Alabama. I forgot.
When?
They did a home-and-home with them. I was in college.
All right. so it was
2010, 2012, 11.
Yeah, but I'm just
Somewhere in
in
there.
the last few years they haven't been playing anybody outside the conference. I mean, even when they had Saquon, which they should have been playing outside the conference when they had Saquon, because they could have probably beaten anybody on any given Saturday.
That's why I like Notre Dame. Because they go out and they play one of the hardest schedules in the country year in and year out.
Well, because they're not
They
in
play
any-
Michigan.
They're not in the
They're not
conference.
scared
though.
to go down to Georgia and play.
But they're an independent. They can play anybody they want.
Okay.
I mean, and
So can Alabama. Like you have.
But Notre Dame really, for the most part, they basically play the same teams every year.
Yeah, because it's just tradition-based scheduling. They play Stanford, they play USC, they play Michigan.
Well, they're
They
not going
always
to be
play
playing
Navy.
They're not going to be playing Michigan for a while. I think that they're not
Yeah,
playing.
I
that for
think
like
that's
another 10 years.
that's a damn shame.
Yeah, it is. They always play Navy. They used to play Army all the time, but they don't play Army anymore.
Yeah, they like mix in Syracuse and
Yeah.
they just did a home and home with Georgia. Like
That's
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia's a really good team.
Yeah, I mean Alabama's doing home and homes with Duke, and we're not talking about basketball.
Yeah, no, I know.
All right, let's get to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. A lot of spirited debates between me and you over the Baseball Hall of Fame. They just announced the new nominees this year. Your boy Jeter on the list.
He
Larry
should be.
Walker.
Larry Walker and Jeter should both get in.
Larry Walker. I had 5. Let me get the Frank. Ralph, can you bring the list up of the guys that are?
MLB Hall of Fame.
I think I had 5.
I think there should only be 2 this year.
I'm all 2. So you're not You're not.
I'm not going to vote guys who did steroids.
You can't prove that Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds did steroids. They never failed the test or served the suspension.
Yeah, but Barry's head was about 6 sizes larger when he retired.
Did you ever see Training? You ever see Training Day? With Denzel Washington.
It'll be 2020, right? For
but that was
Hall of Fame?
Yeah, but that was a movie. That wasn't real.
Yeah, but it's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove. You can't prove
Yeah,
that
I
Barry
understand.
Bonds did steroids.
Barry Bonds is a cheater.
You
Come on.
can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Barry Bonds
But
did
this
steroids.
isn't court. We're not in court right now.
Well, this is my court.
This is
the
public-
Hall of Fame
this is-
court, which
this is public-
supersedes any
this is the-
judicial American system.
This is the court of public opinion, and my public opinion is Roger's a cheater, and so is Barry Bonds.
Roger's your boy too. Are you a
He is
Pettit?
my
Are you a
boy.
Pettit guy?
No,
I'm not either.
he cheated.
He did cheat.
I love Pettit.
So
Listen,
you're out on Manny too.
Yeah, I'm out on Manny too. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I love Pettit, but you know what?
I had 4 or 5 because I'm interested to see what you think about Gary Sheffield because I'm undecided on Gary Sheffield. And when I'm
if he had over 500, he had over 500 home runs. He was a great hitter.
he did, but I have it right here, Frank or Ralph.
Did he
Yeah.
ever have a suspension
have-
for steroids?
On there, you have Bonds. You have Roger
All
Clemens.
right, hold on, slow down. Bonds is a yes for me.
Okay, Bonds is a no for me.
Write
All
this
right.
down.
And then Clemens is a yes for me.
And he's a no for me too.
Okay.
Derek Jeter.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
No doubt about it. What do you have? 3,400 hits.
3,400
All those playoffs.
3,470.
You ever win an MVP?
No, he came in third
One.
a few times.
And he won batting titles.
No.
He did.
He never won a batting
He had
title.
like 345 the one year.
Yeah, but somebody else hit like 350.
Tough break.
He had 330 one year and somebody had 340. I mean, it happened. He had I think he had like a 312 lifetime batting average.
Wow.
Something like that.
Rookie of the Year, All-Star Game MVP, 5-time World Champion, 5-time Gold Glover, World Series MVP, 14-time All-Star.
Yeah.
No MVPs.
No
No.
MVPs. All-Star Game MVP
For
and a
Derek.
World Series MVP.
Jeter.
Yeah.
310 batting average,
Okay.
almost
so
400
I was
stolen
off.
bases.
I was off by 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
1,300 RBIs.
Still close.
Like, he's just. I know the Yankees are pretty polarized. You either love him or you hate him, but Derek Jeter's definition of Hall of Fame.
First ballot. Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
All right,
unanimous.
so who's next?
Larry Walker.
Absolutely.
That's a yes. Larry Walker. So I'm up to 4.
Okay. Kurt Schilling.
No.
No.
All right.
And
next
me,
one.
my opinion is if I have to think about it for even a millisecond, it's a no.
Okay.
It's got to be absolutely
I'm a
no
tough.
doubt about
I'm a
it.
very tough grader as
We're
well.
both tough graders.
Next one is Todd Helton.
Todd Helton's a yes.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Come dude, you kidding me?
His numbers were his numbers. First, he played his whole career in Coors Field. Come on.
Give me a fucking break, dude. Are you kidding me?
I'm not going to give him a Hall of Fame nod. No. No, come on. He played his whole career in
pulling
Coors
up.
Field.
So this is because you remember on 1360 WNJC for 3 straight years, I had to pound the desk for Mike Mussina to finally get in.
I mean, if his stats on the road are even half as good as his stats at home, I'll change my mind.
He doesn't have as many home runs as I thought. 2,500 hits, 369 home runs, 316 batting average, 1,400 runs, 1,400 RBIs. 40,
That's pretty good.
14 OB on base, a 539 slugging. So career OPS of 953, OPS plus of over 1,000, well over 1,000.
Okay, I'll put him in then. You win.
And
Uncle.
Then, yeah. Won a batting title, won 3 Gold Gloves,
Okay.
5-time All-Star. He's a Hall of
Okay.
Famer.
Okay. You win.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Next one is Sammy Sosa.
No.
Did I say that one already?
No.
Okay.
I'm in
Cliff
no.
Cliff Lee.
I
No.
mean, he was dominant in the years he was dominant, but not enough body. He's like Ryan Howard.
Okay. Josh Beckett.
No.
Adam Dunn.
No.
Rafael Foucault.
No.
He shouldn't even be on the list. He
I'm
booted
just reading.
Raphael for call.
Yep, I'm just reading whatever.
in the 08 and 09 NLCS. He's still kicking the ball around to this day against the Phillies.
Next one
He
they have
stinks.
is Jason Giambi.
He's close, but no.
No.
Manny Ramirez.
No. Suspended not once but twice for steroids.
Gary
Cheater.
Sheffield.
This is the
He's the tough one. Was he ever suspended for steroids?
Oh man, I'm not sure. We'll look
I
that
thought that he had put that cream on him. He got nailed for the steroid cream. Correct me if I'm wrong. Any of you guys out there, any of you fans out there know if Sheffield got suspended for steroids?
did not get suspended.
Did he get caught?
He admitted in an interview that he cheated.
Well, if he cheated, he's out.
Didn't fail a drug test.
Doesn't matter.
Didn't get suspended.
He still cheated.
I would vote for Andy Pettitte. Did Andy Pettitte get suspended?
He's
No.
That's another guy that's on the list.
Yeah.
He admitted that he did steroids. The only time he said the only time he actually did steroids was when he injured
to
his
recover
elbow
from an injury.
to recover
I don't
from
think
an
Andy
injury.
Pettitte has the numbers to get in.
That's close. I think he had 220 wins.
If it's close, you're out. Let's get Gary Sheffield on the table here because Pettitte's up too.
You want another one?
No, hold on. We could figure out if Gary Sheffield's a Hall of Famer. 509 home runs.
Okay, that's pretty darn good.
Just under 2,700 hits.
Okay.
1,600 runs, 1,600 RBIs, 253 stolen bases. Jeez, I mean,
That's pretty impressive offensive. What was his lifetime batting average?
292.
Wow. He's
And-
kind of like Al Kaline.
He was a 9-time All-Star, a 5-time Silver Slugger Award, 1997 World Series champion, and he won the batting title. I believe he was with the Dodgers when he did that.
You know what? He is a Hall of Famer. I just don't know that I would put him in on the first ballot.
See, now that's another thing, that this holier than thou first ballot bullshit. Either you're a Hall of Famer or you're not. Enough of these games. The NFL does those games. That's why I don't respect their Hall of Fame at all.
The reason they do that is because if you are a first ballot Hall of Famer,
I get it. It's more special.
Yeah, you're that much.
It's cut and dry with me. Either so what? All of a
He's
sudden, this time next year, Gary Sheffield's
I think
magically
Sheffield-
a Hall of Famer. That
I
makes
think
no
Sheffield-
sense. Makes no sense.
Sheffield. The only problem I have with Sheffield was he was really a lousy defensive player. There really wasn't anywhere to play. He played third base and he wasn't very good. He played shortstop and he wasn't very good. And then he got put in left field and he was okay in left field. what I enjoyed most about Gary Sheffield was that the third base coaches used to stand in like the middle of left field in the foul down the foul line because they were afraid to stay in the coach's box that
Yeah.
he might hit a line drive and put basically the ball would carry the third base coach into the stands. But yeah, Gary was a hell of a player. You know what? I mean, my problem is that with the
So
with
he
the steroids.
actually,
I can't put somebody that was.
I don't remember
in
him on the.
steroids.
I don't remember him on the Padres at all.
I don't remember him on the Padres either. I just remember him when he was on the Yankees. Boy, wow.
SDP. That's the San Diego Padres. Yeah, and he was on the Dodgers for a hot minute. And Detroit and the Mets. He was kind of old there. 22 big league seasons.
Yeah, he was pretty darn impressive.
Never struck out. Basically a 1-to-1
Really?
strikeout to walk ratio throughout his career.
I didn't realize he walked that much.
Yeah, he had 1,100 strikeouts to 1,400 walks.
Wow, that's very impressive. How many guys walk more than they strike out?
Not today in 2020,
today's- yeah.
2019.
Nobody does that. Nobody does that.
You have Joey Gallo. He hits more home runs than singles.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Remember Joe DiMaggio had, I think, struck out 340 times in his career.
Wow.
And hit 350 home runs.
Jesus.
If you look it up, he's one of the few guys in his career that hit more home runs than strikeouts.
Yeah,
And he didn't hit 700 home runs either.
Nah.
I'm gonna let Gary in.
Okay.
I'm letting him in.
All right. Yeah, I can't do it because of the
But
steroids.
like Pettit's on the list, right, Frank or Ralph?
Yes, he is. Andy Pettit is on the list.
I don't think his numbers are good enough. I think his ERA is a little too high for my liking. I mean, listen, I love Andy. You know, he's my boy. He's a Yankee.
He's like Schilling.
Won a lot of big games. He
Great postseason guy
had a terrible 2000 World Series though.
against the Mets.
No, I'm sorry, not 2000. 2001 against
Oh, one?
Arizona was horrible in that World Series.
Yeah, he pitched in Game 6 and
He got
they had a
smoked.
chance to
He
close
got
the
destroyed.
door. They lost like 24-3 or something.
16-2, I think. I could be wrong, but I thought it was 16-2.
Andy Pettit, an ALCS MVP, a 5-time champion, a 3-time All-Star. 3.85, 256 and 153, 3.83 ERA,
Yeah, but 3.83 is pretty high, I think.
a 1.35 WHIP, and 2,400 strikeouts and well over 3,000 innings. Steroids aside, he didn't have the numbers.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. 256 wins is a lot of wins, though, and being in 100 games over 500 is saying something. But the Yankees were really good when he pitched for the Yankees.
Yeah.
He won 5 championships, but I mean, that team was loaded. They were really good. Let me see. Yeah, how many strikeouts did he
Where's
have?
his Houston? Where's that one Houston year where he just went off because he was on steroids?
He was hurt he got hurt that year.
No, it was only his best season in Houston. He had 3.07 ERA, 2.9 ERA. He's not a Hall of Famer. Sorry.
No, I.
Who's next, Ralph?
Next person they have Scott Rowland.
No.
Andrew.
Fuck that guy.
Andrew
Wow, he
Jones.
had. I'll tell you what. That one year,
Who?
you're talking about for Andy Pettit in Houston, 17-9, 2.39 ERA. That was pretty good.
Okay. Well, like we got 4s up here. We got. He didn't break.
I'm just looking to see how many 20
It looked
games
like
he's.
he didn't have an ERA under 4 until he started taking steroids.
Good point. He only won 20 games twice.
He's not.
No.
He's not.
No, I don't think he was.
Who is Scott Rowland? No.
No.
The other one is we got a couple more. Andrew Jones.
No.
Greg was pretty adamant that Andrew Jones should be in when he was down here. And he knows baseball,
Just-
so I'm gonna look him. We'll put him.
I disagree.
We'll put him on trial. Well, he's gonna have defensive numbers. Like I believe Omar Vizquel's on the list as
Yes,
well,
he
right?
is. Yep.
Omar Vizquel, I think, is a Hall of Famer, but we'll get to him in a minute. Andrew Jones had 434 career home runs, but he only had a 259 career batting average. 5-time All-Star, 10-time Golden Glove. He's right on the border. I would say no. I'm sorry.
1,200,
254 is not good enough.
You got an you get an on base of 337.
Big deal. A lot of guys get that.
That's not.
He's not a Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Very Good.
I agree with that. Yeah, Andrew Jones is a no.
He's no. I would take him on my team anytime. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
And then Omar Vizquel, I know he's on the
Omar Vizquel was the man.
11 Gold Gloves, 3-time All-Star. A 272.
One of the best fielding shortstops I've ever seen.
But
He was just as good a defensive player as Ozzie Smith, by the way. Just to let you guys know. As far as I'm concerned, just as good. He may have not had the flair. But,
I'll tell you what. If Ozzie Smith's in the Hall of Fame and Omar Vizquel gets in the Hall of Fame somehow, and they make Jimmy Rollins wait even a year to get in the Hall of Fame, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak out.
Yep.
That's fair.
He's the only 08 Philly that is gonna make it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Chase has a good chance.
He got
272 as a hitter, only 80 home
Chase
runs.
is in the Hall of Very Good. Hey, you can make a better case for Howard than you can Chase, in my opinion. Howard the Phillies were a bunch of jabronis and didn't bring him up on.
Wow, Omar had 2,877 hits. That's a lot of hits.
I'm not. I can't put him in.
Another name on here
way.
is Eric Chavez.
No.
Played for the A's, didn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
another Hall of Very Good.
He was good. Like, if you extrapolated his 3 best seasons to 15 seasons, you might have something. But no, I can't put him in the Hall of Fame.
A couple more. Jeff Kent is on here as well.
Jeff Kent is an interesting case.
Jeff Kent.
Let's put him under the microscope.
Jeff Kent.
Now remember, he was a second baseman.
I hear you.
Okay, and you don't get guys who have the kind of stats he did playing second base. It's very rare. Jeff Kent, as a second baseman, had a WAR of 55.4, 2,461 hits, 377 home runs, 290 lifetime batting average. Boy, he was good. He could really hit this guy.
Is this his first time?
Yeah. As far as his
Read his
batting
stats
average.
again.
Okay, let me start again.
Because I have Utley's right here.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay,
maybe
home runs.
Maybe I misspoke.
377 home runs. 1,518.
Never mind, I didn't misspeak.
1,518 RBIs. Not a big stolen base
Chase,
threat.
sorry, Phillies fan. Chase Utley's not a Hall of Famer.
800 walks.
He's nowhere close to those stats, Ralph.
Okay.
290 batting average. 356 on base average. 500 slugging percentage. 855 OPS. This guy's a Hall of Famer, guys.
Yeah.
This guy. Let's see. He was
so bad at defense.
Jeff Kent.
Was not a great defensive player, but he wasn't. He wasn't. I wouldn't call him a butcher. Average defensive player, but I mean, for a second baseman,
we got some guys getting in this year. Then maybe.
Yeah, for a second baseman to put up the kind of numbers he put up is pretty damn good.
Well, I'm gonna cross off Bonds and Clemens because they're not gonna let him in, even though they'd be on my ballot.
I mean, let's see. He was an All-Star 1, 2, 3, 4.
He does have the numbers.
5.
How many home runs did he have?
This is as a shortstop. Okay.
Second
baseman. Second baseman. 377 home runs. How many second basemen have 377 home runs? How many home runs did Joe Morgan hit? Let's put him up against Joe Morgan. I'm not saying he's better than Joe Morgan. Okay.
Well, look at
let's take a look at Joe Morgan's stats.
what about Cano?
He's a cheater. He doesn't get
Yeah,
it.
got suspended for steroids.
Yeah, he's a cheater. Forget
I mean, that's my breaking point.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do whatever, just don't get caught.
it. Okay, guys.
It's like the NCAA.
Joe Morgan, okay? 271 lifetime batting average, 268 lifetime home runs,
Wow.
2,517 hits. His WAR, though, boy, 100.6. 100.6. That's fabulous. But, I
And
mean,
what
you
was
look at
Jeff-
some of these
What was
numbers.
Jeff Kent's batting average?
290.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Easily.
yeah, if you take a look at Joe Morgan's numbers and you look at Jeff Kent's numbers, I mean, Jeff Kent's numbers are just as good as Joe Morgan's numbers. I mean, sorry, I know there's a lot of
Joe
people
Morgan
out there.
has a bigger, higher WAR because of defense.
Also, he stole 689 bases lifetime.
Who did?
Joe Morgan and scored 1,650 runs. Now, that's not something that too many guys do. Had 2,517 hits. He had less hits, but he scored 1,650 runs.
Another name on this list. We got two couple more. Paul Konerko's on this list.
No.
No.
Cliff Lee is on this
No.
list.
Paul Konerko would probably be in the White Sox Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Retired his number.
Yeah,
Yep.
him and Mark Burley.
Yeah. Bobby Abreu.
Ugh. I cringe at that name.
He's in the kindness defenses defenses club.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Billy
'Cause he
Billy
wouldn't go
Wagner
near- No.
is on here.
Wags.
No.
No, you really to be a closer and get in, you really have to be
That's
dominant.
You
Dominant.
have to be like
Alfonso
Rivera.
Soriano's on here. Remember him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was close, but no cigar.
He
He was a
40
very good
he had
player.
a 40-40 season.
Yeah, he also hit I think he hit 400 home runs too. But he was a very bad defensive player.
That's an understatement.
He never walked.
Never.
Every at bat it was 0-2 when he was
Pretty
up.
quick.
Yeah, I mean
'Cause he was in the NL East with the
yeah.
Nationals.
Well, he was.
So like
he was with the
saw him.
Yankees, and he was with the Yankees, and
Or
you
the
could.
Expo, whatever they were back then.
Who?
Soriano.
I mean, I loved Soriano, but you know what? Every time
And he was
up,
with the Cubs too.
Just-
Because
just-
remember
just-
Frank Robinson wouldn't let him play second base because he blew at defense.
he was also
Oh,
with
he
the
couldn't-
Cubs.
He couldn't. Yeah, with the Cubs. The Cubs finally figured it out and put him in left, and then
Yeah.
he was fine.
No, Frank Robinson put him in left.
Oh, was it Frank Robinson that did that?
In Washington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he didn't want to go there. He wanted to play the infield, and Frank Robinson, the hard ass that he was like,
You can run. You're
ball
fast.
goes through your legs way too much, bro. You got to play left field.
He's thinking-
Like when push came to shove, Soriano went out to left field when opening day.
He was okay. He was okay as a left
But
fielder.
it looked like for a while that he wasn't gonna.
Well, I mean, he
wasn't
as
gonna
I
play
said,
there.
he had over. I'm pretty sure he had over 400 home runs, lifetime. I mean, he was a very good. Again, another Hall of very good player.
So our consensus, the Sports Hounds consensus, is Jeter, Larry Walker, Todd Helton, Gary Sheffield, Jeff Kent,
yeah,
and
I think Jeff Kent is going to fall a little short because the writers don't like him.
yeah, well, he was a douche.
Oh, he's a big douche. No, he was an asshole. He was not fan friendly. I mean, nobody liked him.
Remember him and Bonds hated each other
Yeah, well,
when they were on San Francisco.
yeah, but you're talking about two despicable characters who didn't like anybody, including each other.
yeah.
I mean, it is what
Remember
it
he
is.
like broke both his wrists the one off season or in the middle of the season riding his motorcycle.
Kent did that, right?
Jeff Kent,
Yeah.
And Barry Bonds it killed the Giants' chances, and Barry Bonds freaked out.
Yeah, well,
It was like what'd they do? They went 0-3 against the Angels. They blew it. In the World
they
Series.
did blow that World Series. Yeah, that's
To the
right.
rally- to the rally
3-2.
monkey.
It was 3. They were ahead in that series 3-2 and had a 5-0 lead in game
Yeah.
in game
and the
in
rally
game
monkey.
7.
Troy Glaus,
Yeah.
Garrett Anderson,
Yeah,
Scott
that's right.
Spezio. That was big time names.
Tim Salmon.
Tim Salmon. Yes. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Sports Hounds. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. See you then.